And, haha. Hey guys, this is Brad and Mike from Dallas Geek, and we are here for our end of year live stream. So we're trying out a little bit different setup this time, so if there are any technical difficulties, hopefully it's not going to be that big of a deal.
What else are we doing that's different, Brad?
So, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I hope you can feel the hate that is coursing out of my body towards you right now.
Okay, so basically we are doing a little bit of a clickbaity thing. Yes, we
call it what we are, Brad.
Nope.
Call it what we are.
Nope.
We are essentially whores right now for their enjoyment. I look like I cater to fucking clowns right now.
So,
I hate you so much right now. I might just go home and shave this off. I might not wash it off, I might just shave it off.
I mean, that would be...
Just so you can never do something like this again.
I mean, nah. I'll find some way. I'll always find a way.
And I want the record to show that in terms of dumb shit that we have to do to ourselves, I'm currently leaning like 8-1.
2-1, but...
The last one was against my own free will, therefore it automatically counts for 7.
Hey, you volunteered for that.
Prove it. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
We talked about it, there's no written record.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry I wasn't recording our calls like Nixon, okay? I apologize.
Could have been recording them like Trump.
Okay, staying away from politics for at least a minute. So...
I hate you.
I hate you. As the video title says, we are doing our end of year wrap up. So, yeah, a lot has happened to us this year. And in fact, in terms of the show, there's been a lot of things that have happened.
If anybody that I call a friend is watching this right now,
is this your cry for help?
Just... This might be my suicide note.
That's fair.
This might be what pushes me over the edge, guys. No, don't touch me. Don't.
Anyway, so, Mike.
Brad.
What all did we do this year?
Too damn much.
So,
at least that's what it feels like as we get towards the end of the year and I find myself sleeping like 12 hours on my days off.
Apparently I'm drinking glitter. So,
I think the better question is what didn't we do this year?
So here's just a really quick behind-the-scenes peek at the show.
You know what we didn't do? We didn't fill our beards with... Oh no, wait, we totally did that dumb thing.
Anyway, so here's a little bit of a peek behind the curtains for what the show's been like this year.
We have curtains? When the hell did we get those? Oh, holy shit. Yeah.
So, basically, we have grown a lot as a channel. We've grown a lot as a show.
Not so much as people.
I mean, so just last year, we were literally just doing videos here in front of these bookcases, talking about stuff
and so much has changed.
Talking about stuff that we liked, talking about nerdy stuff that we thought was interesting, and that's even how we started this year off. And then we went to the North Texas Comic Book Show.
God, that was all the way back in like March.
February. That was February.
Jesus.
And then we went to another show, and then we went to another show, and another show, and with each new convention that we hit, we got more followers. You guys, by the way, have been amazing. But, hey, we've only gotten, like, what, 2 trolls so far this year? I mean...
That's what I'm saying. They haven't really been doing enough.
You want more trolls.
I mean, doesn't that mean... Isn't that proof that we've made it?
Yeah, I guess by internet standards that would count.
Yeah, you get trolled more, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah.
I don't know how the internet works.
No. I don't think anybody does, really. We just all pretend and hope we're right. which actually has been a bit of a
that's basically our show.
Jesus. So yeah,
maybe somebody will like this.
With this, hopefully they will like this.
No.
But yeah, no, we had a lot of cool stuff that we got to do. We got to meet a lot of people at these conventions. It's been amazing.
I can't stop. It looks like a blood demon threw up on my face.
Is that right?
Jesus.
Sorry,
keep talking.
Sure. But yeah, so we let's see, we had a really fun time meeting so many people at these conventions. We had a really fun time getting a chance to look at how these conventions were run in ways that we really didn't have the chance to before.
Like that was really cool that they actually let us, some of these conventions really let us kind of like get a backstage look at everything, and then
yeah, I mean, we weren't always allowed to talk about it, but we were allowed to at least see how a lot of these conventions were run.
Well, and then
find out like some of the actual logistics of why this guest instead of this guest, how we're able to get all of these guests.
Right. Well, like,
and one time or two, we were able to find out what is the going rate for certain levels of guests, which. Once again,
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that we aren't allowed to talk about because honestly, that's not really our place to say. But we will say that it was shocking, just what goes into these conventions and what kind of overhead most of these conventions have to deal with just to exist in the first place.
Can we at least say who the guest was?
No. Like I said, not really our place, no matter who they are.
I just remember hearing that number and I was like, "Are you out of here?" What?
Yeah. But yeah. So we had a chance to be able to learn so much about the nerdy community. We got to meet so many artists, so many authors this year.
We met a lot of really cool people, like really down to earth people that are on the creative side in terms of like actually creating stories and art and stuff like that, and they're so down to earth. And God, it was Fan Expo where we ran into a bunch of people that we had met at like the smaller conventions where they had booths there, and they were super excited to have been able to go be a part of like Artist Alley and go be in that environment around everybody else. And like I remember just being over there spending like an hour talking to pretty much each of them every day that we were there.
Yeah, and
seeing the time that they were having like was awesome.
Well, I mean, and I know that you weren't able to make some of the smaller conventions because schedules for both of us are really difficult to be able to hit every single convention for both of us at the same time. That's part of that peek behind the curtain. We do have day jobs. We do have an actual life that we have to deal with outside of the show. We put a lot of hours into the show, but sometimes schedules don't really work out so that only one of us can make a convention, and while we try to both make as many as we can, things happen, you know?
Especially life.
Yeah.
Life kind of kicked me in the nuts this year.
Well, yeah.
I kind of took a little sabbatical from the show, but you,
yeah.
You carried the load gracefully. I do appreciate that.
Well, you had, once again, that comes back to, we have a lot of stuff going on outside of the show, and, like, it's just how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so with all that, with all those people that we met, with all the stuff that we learned about the conventions, with all the new videos that we were able to make, and with all the conventions we were able to attend, that created a problem that we weren't actually expecting. Sorry, I wasn't expecting. As we mentioned before, I'm the one that edits the videos. Mike's actually just now starting to get into assisting with editing.
I'm trying!
Which is great, but in general, it turns out when you hit multiple conventions within like a month and a half span, and you get I believe the technical term is crap ton of content.
No, it's a shit ton. It's a metric shit ton.
Okay,
that is an actual measurement of stuff.
You're correct. A metric shit ton. It takes a while to get through all that. As those of you,
how's the back catalog look right now, Brad?
For those of you that we've talked to at conventions, like in particular Dallas Fan Days, Waxicon, and the holiday special for the Dallas Comic Show. For those of you that we've talked to that have not seen yourselves pop up in one of our videos
Brad doesn't care about you.
I'm getting to it. I swear I'm getting to it. Like, so we just got the final portion of the interview that we did with Heather from Novocaine Cosplay put out.
When did we do
Monday.
that again, Brad?
That was end of July, beginning of August.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad. Heather, if you are watching or if you see this,
she doesn't care about us.
We do love you, but my bad.
You got a funny way of showing it.
I mean, you know, it happens. Tom, hey, Tom, just saw your comment. Yeah, I know. The beer glitters,
stupid. Yes,
it's something.
We know.
It's something. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, no, we've had so much that we've been trying to keep up with. And on top of that, so this is maybe more than you guys were expecting for explaining what happens behind the scenes, but our Sunday episodes, our Spotlight Sunday, all those interviews that we did, we actually did in a single weekend back in July. For all the authors that we interviewed, if any of y'all are watching, we are getting around to y'all, you know, every single week. And we thank you, each and every one of you, for giving us your time to be able to sit down and talk about your books. I know that with our audience being a very nerdy group, and the group of authors that we talked to were a very diverse group of authors, not every genre of book is going to apply to every single nerd, but we do know that every genre will apply to some nerd out there, and we are absolutely thrilled about the fact that we get to bring all these new books to a new group of nerds that may never have actually heard of these books before. Now, I will admit that trying to edit all of those interviews is probably one of the biggest beatings I've ever done editing-wise, because of just the vast volume of content that weekend has totaled, but it's been amazing.
How many interviews was that over 2 days?
About 50.
Yeah.
About 50 interviews in 2 days, and I will say...
Each interview was an average of 8 to 12 minutes, give or take?
With some of them going like 15 to 20.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's... Yeah. Hey, yeah, Tom, it was so great talking to you. Honestly, you were one of our favorite interviews from Anime Fest. Like, you were just so much fun to talk to, and I know that Erica and I had such a great time interviewing you there. That was just great. And by the way, that video of yours that you told us about, and I was finally able to track down, that thing was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, so we did so much this year.
We did too much this year.
And honestly, yeah, I would say that the biggest lesson that we learned was the fact that next year, while we intend to do a lot of content again, we are definitely going to pace ourselves better.
Yeah. I think one thing we want to get back to is doing pull lists, movie reviews, that kind of stuff. Kind of the stuff that we started with, we got away from it. Not necessarily on purpose, but I mean, we really threw ourselves into the convention scene.
Yeah.
Just trying to introduce a lot of people to that, because that was still very new to us, very new to me specifically.
Yeah.
So that was something that we really wanted to kind of throw ourselves into, to kind of open up that world to more people.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like we've had a couple of our friends like, oh, you guys didn't review like this movie or that movie or like this or that, and I'm like, well, with work, I haven't seen this movie or that movie.
And I mean, we even did reviews earlier this year, like right as we were getting into all this convention stuff, that haven't seen the light of day yet. Like we reviewed Black Panther, we reviewed Infinity War.
We still haven't dropped the Infinity War review.
No, and at this point, I'm pretty sure that both of those reviews are going to be coming up right around the time of Captain Marvel. But yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that we want to get into more in 2019. We want to get back to more stuff in studio as well as all the events.
Yeah. We might just be maybe a little more selective in terms of how much content we take from each event.
Yeah, and we'll because there are so many events in a given year.
Yeah.
Like we intentionally pushed ourselves this year to be able to get as many events and as much content from every event as we could, because our show is still so new and we want to really show as much of the community as we possibly can.
And I mean, we're really trying to get our name out there into the community as well.
However, now that we've had a chance to really do that, because we proved pretty solidly that it is physically impossible to hit even half of the conventions that are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in a single year with a two-man team like us.
So if anybody wants to join the team, send your resume to...
but yeah, no. We know that it's not possible to hit every convention, especially and get the content from them out. Like we can technically hit them, we just can't get content out if we hit them all. So we're probably going to have to go about and be a bit more, I don't know, you know, like maybe a convention a quarter, a convention every couple months or so that we're able to get, hey Jody.
I just know that I'm super happy that Fan Expo is not falling on WrestleMania weekend this year for the first time in God knows how long.
Yeah.
So I can actually enjoy my damn WrestleMania and my Fan Expo weekends.
Yeah. It'll be nice.
I mean, you, like, kind of...
Yeah, I mean... little more behind the scenes. Right around the time of Fan Expo this coming year, my wife and I are going to be having our first kid.
Okay. Excuse me.
And, yeah, so that weekend could be very interesting. I honestly don't know what's going to happen that weekend.
If you're not the one delivering the kid, I don't see why you should have to be there. She can't hear me, can she?
Oh, she can hear you, and you do realize she's probably going to run in here in like 2 seconds and literally murder you on camera.
No, I'm fine. She doesn't. Nope. She won't. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
So you say?
Everything's fine. I haven't heard the rustling of kitchen knives or anything like that yet. So.
Give her a second. Give her a second.
One Mississippi.
Hi, sweetie.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was expecting something to come flying at me.
I told you it was going to happen.
Like, just look down and a fucking brick hits me between the eyes. I was kidding!
I told you it would happen. Oh my god.
I was kidding.
Oh man, but yeah,
as long as it's named after me, he can go.
So his name's gonna be Luke. Yes, for exactly the nerdy reason why you're thinking.
Jesus, how... Sorry, how have you seen a girl naked?
She actually accepts my nerdiness, which I am so grateful for. But yeah, so yeah, that weekend of Fan Expo is going to be very interesting. We will be attending the convention. I can't guarantee I will be attending the convention, but Dallas Geek will be at the convention one way or another. So that is definitely happening. Which, yeah, so that was actually one of the really cool things about it was from Dallas Fan Days. After what we did with that, we were actually already invited back for Fan Expo. So
that was cool.
That was really
apparently
cool.
They like us, so we were able to fool them somehow.
Yeah, I mean that was.
Now they're gonna watch this damn video and be like, yeah, so you guys are no longer welcome here.
Well, I guess we will find out about that. In fact, yeah, I mean, I don't know. This whole thing, this whole show this year, like, there's been so much that we've been trying to keep up with, just in terms of overall.
I'll be honest, I totally forgot we were doing this tonight until you text me. You're like, hey, are you gonna grab the drinks for? Well, I mean, I can go ahead and talk about it now, right?
Oh yeah, so well, no, I've already mentioned it before. Okay. So yeah, no, we are doing a live stream on New Year's Eve for
with, several of our friends that we made throughout the year.
Yep, and it has been great getting a chance to be able to hang out with them and meet each of them this year, or continue.
Some of them are okay. Wow. They're not gonna watch this. They don't care about us.
They probably will, and in fact, he's drinking an apple teeny. He's drinking an apple teeny, Mrs. Rookwood.
Whatever. Yeah, none of them are watching. None of them are commenting. To hell with them.
But yeah, no, it has been just such a great thing. And Sarah from Trizcom, I believe, the PR company for Fan Expo. Yes. You personally were amazing with us. Thank you so much for reaching out to us and bringing us in for Dallas Fan Days.
That was awesome. It was a cool experience.
Yeah, that was probably one of our best convention experiences so far, and by no small means because of everything that you helped us out with. That was awesome.
If you can get us access to some of the featured guests, that'd be fantastic. I'll have to wait to see the list, of course, but we'll reach out.
But yeah, yeah, no. So we'll definitely be tailoring the number of conventions that we hit up this year, much more specifically. We will be.
And I think we started a tradition with last year's Fan Expo,
which. Oh yeah.
I think I have to get a new one every year now.
That would actually be kind of funny.
I mean, we might as well do it, right?
But yeah, so we we're
gonna totally gloss over that.
Yeah. So we will definitely be more specific about the conventions that we hit up this year, which will be great. And in the meantime, we are going to be trying to hit up just small little, hopefully monthly live streams, sometimes with just us, sometimes with guests, any one of our friends or anybody else from the nerdy community that we can bring in to be able to talk about stuff going on in the nerdy community. We definitely want to be able to do that about once a month-ish.
One of the things that I really liked doing this past year was the things we did with David. Our friend David.
Yes.
From the last call. If you're not watching them, then watch them, listen to them.
For the sports nerds out there, and yes, if you are a big sports fan, you are a sports nerd, because if you can't honestly admit to yourself that wearing a jersey with your favorite player's name on the back is just cosplay for sports, you're wrong.
He's not wrong, kids.
Yeah. So, we had so much fun with David for the top 10s that we did with him. Last year we did the top 10 horror movie directors. Right. This year we did the Spielberg.
Which I got him to do something he said he would never do. I got him to make a top 10 Spielberg list. Even though you two fucked it up and didn't have Last Crusade on it. And Last Crusade is a better film than Raiders.
We're going there, huh?
Yes. I will never get off that soapbox.
Wow. Okay.
Never.
Whatever you say, dude.
But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, so
if we could bring in more friends, do more stuff, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Which actually, the whole reason why we did that is because earlier this year and some last year, we had a series that we were doing called Know Your Directors, where we would go in and we would analyze different big name directors' directing styles, and we would really go in depth on why we like them and how you can identify their movies. And that was a lot of fun for us. But then once we got into all these conventions, things got a little away from us. and that we actually have, I think, 2 in the can right now.
Which ones do we need to drop? We need to drop
that haven't seen the light of day.
Is it Tarantino?
No, we did Tarantino.
Okay, so we've seen Tarantino. The Shyamalan? Did we drop Shyamalan?
I'll tell you exactly. But yeah, so we did a lot with that, and we really want to get back to that because while they aren't the easiest videos to edit, where's... Oh yeah, so no cherry, unfortunately, for Mike's Appletini.
That was the first thing I said!
Sadly. It didn't quite work out that I was able to get it in time, but I will definitely try to have the cherries ready for New Year's Eve, so that you can have a cherry with, or at least a cherry with your next Appletini. Hey, Chris.
I don't think you realize how trashed I'm planning on getting on New Year's Eve.
Even though it's going to be only a like 2-hour live stream,
yes,
max.
I will Uber to your house if I have to.
That's fair. Okay, so Sam Raimi is one that we haven't dropped yet, and Christopher Nolan.
God, I feel like a bad person that we haven't dropped either of those. Like, do I need to go edit those? I will go edit those if that means it gets them out sooner.
I'm going to have to teach you a lot more if you want to edit them.
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, those things are probably one of the biggest beasts to edit that we have, because it requires so much crap.
But yeah, so we plan on getting back to that series. We plan on getting back to movie reviews.
Yeah, and in fact, we even intend to try to go back and, like, we started a bit on the app Stardust, doing like mini movie reviews, but I mean that kind of got away from us a bit, and at this point I don't really know if Stardust is worth going back to, but I do like the idea of the short mini reviews, so we may actually go back to do mini reviews for like Instagram.
Yeah, we can do that.
So yeah, I mean, we have a lot that we want to do for next year, and yeah, it's going to be a matter of time management to be able to try to hit it all, and a lot of stuff that will require minimal editing on my part, hopefully.
So a lot more live streaming, basically.
Like I said, at least one live stream a month, which will give me a bit more time to get out the edited content. Especially now that we are up to, once we're past the holiday break, we should be back up to the 3 videos a week schedule, which, I mean, that alone was crazy. Like, the reason why we went up to 3 videos a week was partially because we were getting so much content from these events that was the only way that we'd be able to get through with one event's worth of content in a reasonable amount of time. But the other reason was because as we continued through the year, you guys kept jumping in and responding so much to the stuff that we were putting out. You guys kept coming and like really liking the videos that we did. You guys were sharing the videos that we did. And it was just fantastic, honestly. And because you guys really responded, we went ahead and pushed my editing capacity to try to get out 3 videos a week. And yeah, I mean, it was amazing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So another highlight was all the friends that we made this year too.
Yeah. Speaking of, so who all did we get a chance to meet this year?
Too many people.
The highlights. Let's go with the highlights.
I don't really have any highlights.
Well,
it's mainly lowlights for me because of the people that I had to interact with and the things they got to do to me against my will.
Hey,
always against my will.
Just because Charlotte got to beat you up a few times doesn't make it that bad.
A few times?
I mean, you know. Meh. Hi, Charlotte.
She's not even watching.
Well, whenever she watches.
She won't.
We know she will.
She won't.
But yeah, so that was actually really fun. So Charlotte, we met back at North Texas Comic Show.
I think you had already run into her.
Well, no, so
I first met her.
So no, that was the first time either one of us had met her. I had found her on Instagram like end of last year-ish, and she has some really fun cosplays. And then we met her at North Texas Comic Book Show.
I think I did like a 30-minute interview with her on the spot.
Yes.
Got
audio from it, and
how much of it was usable?
Well,
before you told me like, hey, you need to cut down the swearing when you're talking
well,
to
since
people.
I transcribed it, it didn't really matter that much for that one.
Right.
But then after that, we ended up talking to her again, like what, 4 other times or something like that.
Fan Expo.
Fan Expo.
There was one before
A-Con.
that.
Oh, so All-Con, Fan Expo,
That's
A-Con.
Yeah.
I talked to her briefly at A Fest, but did not really have a chance to interview her there.
Right.
And then Fan Days, we interviewed her.
Her and Andy.
And yeah, that's been it so far.
Like
for the
literally
year.
every time we've gone to something, she's
Yeah.
basically popped up.
She stalks you. It's kind of awesome.
Dude, she was... so for my birthday, me and some friends went to Denton. She was at the bar we were at. I can't make that shit up.
Okay, I was joking about...
Like, I looked up and I was like, get the fuck out. Are you serious?
That is amazing. Oh my gosh, you never told me that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Like, literally, like, we're standing there. I think I was actually, like, I think you had called me and I stepped outside to talk to you, and then I was like, shut up.
Oh, that is actually genuinely amazing.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say what birthday number it was.
Best not to dwell on that too hard.
We're getting old.
But
yeah, like legit, like
yeah.
like her and Andy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like,
that's awesome.
No, it's not. Now I'm really starting to think she's like low jacked into the GPS on my phone or some shit. But back to get it on the rails though. Who else? We
officially met Charlotte back at North Texas Comic, and I officially got my proper introduction to Marla over with MCubed there too. I have to say official because I've been going to conventions since like my senior year of high school.
I have not.
And right around freshman year of college, I got together with this one group of friends that I would always get together with at conventions. And, I mean...
The furry community.
Just...
as we call them.
Wow. No, they weren't. But, like...
He's got the tail in his closet. Ugh.
Don't touch the face. It'll just remind you. Yeah, so like actually I think only like one of those people are still in the convention circuit these days. Lhars, actually.
Who I still haven't met.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because I was supposed to go with you to A-Con. That was when y'all did the overnight stuff, right?
Yeah, and then...
I was supposed to go to that, and then...
You haven't? No shit.
No. She was at the Like to Play Gaming Expo.
Yes, yeah. Okay,
That's
yes,
right.
You did meet her. Okay, yeah.
That was a weird day. We just walked in and
so that was actually
weird.
the same weekend that we did all those author interviews.
That was a long weekend.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, so
it was a lot of fun because I got in for free.
But yeah, so Marla has actually been a friend of my old group of convention friends for a long time, so we've like passed each other peripherally through friends, but never officially got introduced to each other until February, which was actually really funny because it was one of those things where I started talking to her. I'm like, hey, we haven't officially met, but I know we have a lot of mutual friends, and just so this doesn't sound too weird, do you remember a picture from like a few years ago of you and Anthony Daniels at his Q&A panel from Fan Expo? She's like, yeah, that was my picture. That was yours? God. Thank you! Oh my gosh, that was awesome! And like we just kept going from there, and I mean, she's actually been great.
She's been cool.
Much been fun.
Super fun.
Like if you guys aren't following MCubed Cosplay, she is such a fun person. Like her cosplays are awesome, and she's actually recently-ish started doing more YouTube stuff.
Was
too.
it Waxicon where she
And
just
it's been
left her
great.
booth and was just following us around?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And
she was like, "I'm bored. I'm just gonna follow y'all."
Yeah,
we're
she
like,
is.
We're not much better, but okay.
She is so much fun. And then what was it? So then at AllCon, that's where I met Erica after you left, actually.
Apparently, God, am I the Blitz?
I think so. I think you're the Blitz. I think you're the Blitz, dude.
Damn it. But it's not Jesus' birthday anymore, right? No? Okay. God damn it.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, so you were able to show up for AllCon for like, what, an hour, hour and a half-ish?
Where was that one? That was the one that was...
That was over in Addison.
Yes.
Yeah. You were like there for like an hour, hour and a half.
We ran into Scarlet there.
We talked to her with an official on-camera interview.
That was like an hour-long interview.
And then you had to leave shortly after that. And then I got a chance to go over and meet Erica.
Because you were tech, yeah, you were tech, yeah, that's right.
And
right.
Erica was a lot of fun to talk to. And yeah, we've actually gotten a chance to really do a lot of fun stuff with her. She's actually become one of our, well, our only guest host that comes on and helps us out with stuff, which is great.
She's the only one we trust, if we're being honest. We can't trust Marla.
Wow, actually, we probably could trust Marla.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we could.
Charlotte, we can't.
Fucking Jesus, no. God, I don't.
We love you, Charlotte. We do. You are awesome, but
every time you come to the house, we have to child-proof everything. Jesus Christ.
She's fun.
Hide the aspirin.
Wow, we're going there. Shit. Okay.
Put the baby gate up. Yes, all of that.
All right.
Who else wants? Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, no, Erica's awesome. Erica's been fantastic.
Yeah.
She's gotten us into.
She's been.
She's gotten us the scoop with a lot of stuff. She's gotten us the opportunity to sit down with a lot of people.
She got us an interview with Kevin Sorbo. She got us an interview with Chuck Huber.
God, which I still wanted to punch him so hard in the face. He's such a nice guy, but that character.
So Mike only recently was introduced to Full Metal Alchemist, and Chuck in that show plays a character named Shao Tucker, who, if you've seen the show, you know is a genuinely terrible human being.
That episode made me...
If you haven't seen the show, our condolences when you get around to it.
That episode made me cry like a bitch.
Me too.
Like, I cried.
Yeah, me too.
Like
that one hurt.
Ugh.
Like, that one genuinely hurt. And so, yeah, so you getting a chance to meet him was interesting.
It hurt my soul.
Yeah.
Hurt my soul.
But... yeah, so Erica has gotten us into a lot, and I actually followed her for A-Fest. Followed her around to get her perspective on the convention.
Which we had done with Charlotte
for
A
Con.
Yeah.
And in fact, she got us an interview with Don Bennett at A-Fest because they went to high school together.
Yeah.
And that was actually a really fun one, which I'm hoping we may, I'm hoping that we can get a chance to talk to Dawn again, because she is...
Dude, with everything that I've seen, I just want to be, able to be there for the after-hour shit at A-Con.
So...
Or A-Fest, whichever one.
A-Fest.
Yeah.
You won A-Fest.
Yeah, I want to be there for the after-hour stuff. That looked like it was fun.
But, like, the reason why we really, really need to try to get together with Dawn again is because, she was in the new Broly movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And so that would be fun to talk to her about. And I mean, just honestly everything else that she's been doing, because she's actually had a chance to do a bit of stuff with Funimation lately. Yeah. And so, yeah, no, Erica has been fan-freaking-tastic. Like, if you guys aren't following Scarlet Muse Cosplay, once again,
go do it now.
Go check her out.
Now. Stop watching that. Well, no, wait. Hang on. I'm sorry. Wait,
Don't stop watching us. After you're done, do you need more?
I think it's affecting me a little too much. Another!
Go for it. I'll hold it down.
I'm not good.
But, like, yeah, no, Erica is insanely talented, and, like, she's working towards trying to become a voice actor right now. She is an amazing cosplayer who is an insanely talented costume maker, and I mean, just the stuff that she's done with us, she's a really fun guest host that I am really looking forward to doing more with her in next year. Like, she is just great.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, and honestly...
she's been a lot of fun this year. She helped us open up some doors that wouldn't have been there for,
like her,
not for her, so, yeah.
Her and her talents have been a fantastic addition with the show, and I've enjoyed every second that we've had a chance to work with her. And, yeah. Agreed. And then, who else? Oh, Dee. Good Lord, Dee. So Dee is a really, really good friend of Marla from MCubed. Dee Rich is, oh dear Lord, how do you describe Dee? She is simultaneously one of the nicest and most ADD and foul-mouthed human beings I've ever met. And I love her.
If ADHD was a person.
No, if ADHD was a person, that would be Charlotte. If ADHD had a cousin, it would be Dee.
No, Charlotte's just a fucking Martian.
In the best way. Seriously, Charlotte, we love you.
You use that word again without my consent.
Ignore this dumbass. He won't admit it. He loves you too.
Again, you use this word.
If you didn't, you wouldn't actually let her do all the weird stuff that she's done to you.
I haven't let her do shit. You guys think it'd be funny if she does it.
You've had the option to object. You didn't.
Really?
Yes.
I had the option to object to this too, didn't I? No.
Yes, technically you did.
No. No. I had the option to object to getting put makeup on. No.
Anyway.
No.
But yeah, no, so Dee is honestly just such a great person as well. Dee Rich Cosplay, or Lady Dee Rich Cosplay, technically.
Get it right.
Because there is... we actually asked her about that one. So apparently there is a rapper that exists somewhere in the country named Dee Rich. And
that was a funny story.
He wouldn't let go of his online handle, even though
she offered to pay for it.
Yeah, she offered to pay for it, and he wouldn't let go, so she had to go Lady Dee Rich.
Which works out better.
But to be fair, it's Dee Rich, and
because
she's
if
awesome.
you met her and talked to her for 10 minutes, you would forget she's a lady. I mean that in the most sincere way.
Seriously, Dee...
Now that I think about it, that doesn't sound
yeah. Seriously, though, Dee is one of our great friends, and we enjoy running into her every time we do.
She tried to photobomb us at Let's Play Gaming Expo, which was the best.
She has photobombed us a few other times at fan days, and
her and Marla did both. Yeah.
Yeah. Like she's. So obviously it's raining right now, and there's thunder happening. If you heard that, oops.
Fix it in post. Fix it in post.
There is no post. There is no post.
Oh. Oh shit.
But yeah. So what else? Who else did we have a chance to meet this year that was just awesome? I mean, you had a chance to meet Lhars, who, like I said, she's been a longtime friend of mine, and she is
you've known her, awesome. I guess, from
Lhars,
before we did all this.
Yes, Lhars Ebersold. We put up our interview from the comic special holiday special for Dallas Comic Show.
And 10 times fast?
No, thank you. And she, amazing artist. I actually love her work. Like, she is the right kind of freaky with her art. So like,
I can't tell if you're supposed to be like.
So like, okay, so she does.
Please explain.
So she does like these really awesome, like creepy art
right, yeah,
like,
but like I hear the right kind of freaky and my mind goes someplace totally different than it probably should.
So okay, like one of her newest pieces that she did was you know the Tooth Fairy monsters from Hellboy?
Mm-hmm.
She did that pinned to a backboard in a shadow box, like a collector for butterflies.
Yeah. Huh.
She did that, and she's gonna be doing the face huggers in the same manner. She has her business card holder for when she goes to shows is octopus tentacles. Good Lord!
Shit, shook the house. That's awesome.
But yeah, no. So her card holder is octopus tentacles. She had been doing some like creepy Christmas ornaments, like critters from the movie Critters.
Okay.
The face hugger eggs. And just she did Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas. The Beetlejuice snake. And just a lot of other really cool stuff like that you look at and you're going, like, I know this should be creepy, but I kind of love every bit of it, and
That's because you're screwed up in the head,
I need
bro.
it. Well, I mean, we both are.
Anyway.
The fact that we can be friends means we both are.
Okay.
But yeah, so she's been great, and oh shit, oh my Sophie.
I like how you yell at me to not curse, and you've probably dropped more S-bombs than I have. So she just looked up and gave that little smirk, like, yes, it's true. You gonna let him talk that way around the kiddo?
Anyway,
No, I'm just kidding. She's like, no, I'll kill him.
Dallas Fan Days. We got a chance to meet Oh My Sophie.
I must say, we did a lot of fan days.
Yes. So Oh My Sophie is a cosplayer out of Kansas City, and she is phenomenal. Again, I know I keep heaping high praise on all the people that we had a chance to meet, but it's because
ass kissing Brad.
Well, it's because they are genuinely great people, and I mean, I'm glad that we got to meet them.
Are they really great people, though? I mean, some of them are. Some of them are awful because they affiliate with us. Just because of the fact that they affiliate with us.
I mean, that's not entirely wrong.
No.
But yeah, so Oh My Sophie, another cosplayer, but a cosplayer who does a lot of really cool, like, social media stuff. Like, she actually has a social media course that she teaches online to other content creators to explain the different social media algorithms for each of the different platforms, and to be able to talk about, like, do this, not this, do this, not this over here, and like all the really cool stuff that you look at and you're going, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm actually surprised that I never thought about it, but I'm glad somebody's talking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that was a really fun interview you did. We got to talk with her afterwards. She's super sweet.
Yeah, and honestly, I definitely want to look for her the next time she comes down to Dallas.
Yeah.
Because she would be really fun to do something, you know, a bit longer form if she's available for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's more or less most of the cool people. Oh, that's for there.
No. You gotta tell me this stuff before I try to do
Sorry.
stuff.
But no, I think that's about all the really cool people that we met. And I mean, just as a quick recap, like really, honestly, Scout's Honor, quick recap.
He was never a scout.
I was actually. I never made it to Eagle, but I got close.
Coming up short, just like in life. Good job, Brad.
Wow. Wow.
Good. I hope it hurts. It's payback for this!
Okay, so for the events that we did this year, just a quick list. We did the North Texas Comic Book Show, we did All-Con, we did Fan Expo Dallas, we did A-Con, we did Arlington.
We did Fan Days.
That's coming up. We did
A-Con, ArlingCon, Texas Authors.
Texas Authors Marketing Event, which is, once again, where we do all those interviews. We did the Let's Play Gaming Expo for like half a day.
We had a lot of good content. We
did. We did Anime Fest. We did the Dallas Comic Show. We did Dallas Fan Days. We did WaxCon, and we did the Dallas Comic Show Holiday Special. Good Lord.
And those all were probably only maybe a weekend in between each.
No, for some of them there was more.
Back, yeah.
But like the last several, those were like within like a week to 2 weeks of each other, more or less.
Yeah.
Which just destroyed
that
me.
WaxCon one was a fun one.
Yeah, WaxCon was great. We did so much in WaxCon.
Well, no, you remember what happened the night before?
Oh yeah, I do.
I was running on like an hour of sleep that day.
Yeah, you were literally running on fumes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Mark Walters, the guy that runs Dallas Comic Show, really great guy. I actually got a chance to talk to him at the holiday special for a bit.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was one of those funny things where I knew that. I had met him once again through mutual friends previously, because with that original group of convention friends, one of their friends was a guy named Devin, who is big in the Dallas convention circuit.
God, it's like stripper glitter. It won't come off.
Wow.
Sorry. Not know anything about that. Hi, Mom.
Devin Pike. So he's friends with Devin Pike, and they used to do a lot of stuff for when it was Dallas Comic Con. They used to do a lot of that stuff, and then shortly after it became Fan Expo Dallas, they hosted a lot of panels for that and everything else. They're with what was it, Big something.
Maybe if somebody prepared a little bit better.
BigFanboy.com. I mean,
jackass.
Yeah. So Mark, I knew through Devin, and now he runs the Dallas Comic Show, and he does a great job with that show. I mean, it's one of the smaller conventions that is just. It continues to surprise me, the couple times we've been there this year, because it's a small convention that they do, I think like 3 times a year.
Yeah, I think they said one February, one in...
Yeah, it's like they do it like 2 or 3 times a year, and it's surprising just how much he can pack into that little convention, but dang it if he doesn't pull it off. He does a great job with that.
But the one we did in February, the very first convention we did.
That was North Texas.
That was North Texas.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. No. But no. If you have a chance to go to Dallas Comic Show, any of their stuff, Mark does a fantastic job with that. I highly recommend it. And especially if you've never been to a comic book show before, they are an easy introduction for sure. So. But yeah, I think that's about enough for the events. So before we get on to our list of favorite things for the year, is there anything else specifically show related that we want to hit on really fast?
I don't think so.
Oh, so we have a podcast. I mean, we have a podcast. Technically, it's the audio from every one of our interviews.
Aren't we already technically labeling ourselves as a podcast?
So yeah, if you go to iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and should be pretty soon to be approved on iHeartRadio. Yes.
Yeah, fucking all right.
Yep. I thought I had applied us for that like back in the summer, and no, sorry, fall, and then I realized that I had started and never finished. Oops. But yeah, so we if you don't have time to sit down and watch the videos from all of our interviews, the audio from all that is put into podcast form on all of those platforms. You can go over to, you know, like I said, Spotify, iTunes, whatever, and download the audio from all of our interviews and enjoy all of that. And any of the in-studio stuff that we've done, we put the audio there as well, so you can continue to get your Dallas Geek fill for the day. Because I'm sure at least one person out there actually enjoys consistently coming back to getting their dose of Dallas Geek.
Statistically, they have to.
At least one person.
There has to be one, statistically speaking.
Other than us. But yeah.
You enjoy it?
No, yeah, most part, yeah. But yeah, so overall, we had a really fantastic year, and I am just truly excited about everything that we had a chance to do. And next year,
I mean, it's really kind of mind blowing looking back. Like I'm literally sitting here just staring at this list.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, next year we are definitely going to be doing even more, but in a much more manageable way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
No, like in terms of general content, we are going to be doing much more overall content, but we will do it in a way that is actually manageable so that we aren't like constantly losing sleep to keep up. Yeah. So yeah.
We can just lose sleep for other reasons. Like work.
I mean, that is kind of the norm.
Yeah. Or kids.
Soon to be.
Not it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so.
Do you think she can still hear us?
Nah, she's probably gone back further in the house.
Like, I can make it look like an accident.
Actually, she was probably thinking about that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick list of our favorite. Well, quick list of our favorite things for the year, not show related. So just to start this list off, I have to say that. So I have 2 online abridged anime series that I love because they are just amazing. Dragon Ball Z abridged and Sword Art Online abridged. So Team 4-Star, the guys that do Dragon Ball Z abridged, just finished the Cell saga. It's been a very long time coming to get to that point, and I gotta say, for the 3-part finale plus epilogue, I'm pretty sure I died laughing at least 4 times per episode. And it was like they're amazing. If you haven't already heard them, what's wrong with you? But they are awesome. And then as for Sword Art Online abridged, the guys over at Something Witty, I gotta say, like, I actually like the show Sword Art Online. Mostly, it has points where each season gets to where you just can't handle it anymore, but I do have to say that any time I've ever heard somebody say that Sword Art Online abridged is essentially redoing the show the right way, I can't argue with. Like, they understand where the humor actually is in the show and the concept of the show, and damn it, they do it right. So,
I don't know anything about either of those, so cool.
Well, you know a little bit about Dragon Ball Z Bridge. You're severely behind.
Yes, very much so.
Like, you stopped, what, back during the Frieza saga?
Probably before that.
Jeez, dude. We need to fix that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things we need to fix.
Weekend marathon.
There's a lot of things I need to weekend marathon.
So you want to take on the Marvel movies?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. So we started with Black Panther this year. Anybody that didn't think that that movie was going to be a massive hit was an idiot, if we're being real.
Yeah.
The time that they released it, the fact that there was literally nothing else when it came out, the fact that the fan base had been going absolutely ballistic with anticipation for this movie ever since they announced it at the big Phase 3 announcement that they did at Man's Chinese Theater back in, like, God, when would that have been now? Like 2015?
Oh, jeez.
Where they literally just laid it out like, yep, here's all the movies that are coming out.
Yeah. And the fact that the cast was like some of the best actors they possibly could have pulled into that. I mean, dear Lord.
Plus, it helped that the movie was fantastic. They had a fantastic director working on it.
Yeah,
Michael B. Jordan really redeemed himself from Fan Four Stick.
Yeah, best to just pretend that would never happen for him. The director of Black Panther,
Ryan Coogler.
Thank you.
Creed.
Yeah.
Fruitvale Station.
That man knows how to direct a movie.
Yes, he does.
I mean, Creed, by the way.
Still haven't seen the second one, but the first one's fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one either. Like, it is literally on my list, but the first one, I've actually sort of lost track of how many times I've watched it.
Such a fantastic movie.
Like, I love that. Like, as part of the Rocky franchise, that may be my second favorite movie in that franchise. Maybe. Okay.
Behind Rocky 4, of course. I mean, yeah, it sucks losing Apollo, but the way he puts that Russian back in his place.
I gotta go.
Just like our president's doing right now.
I always said we were gonna stay away from politics.
I just want to push buttons, man.
Okay, so
it's what I do. I'm sorry.
For me, I kind of gotta go. 1.
Well, yeah.
Creed.
Oh.
2, 4. And then 3.
I was wondering what was going to come next, 3 or 5.
Oh, 5. No, not 3. Not 3. Rocky Balboa.
See, I thought Rocky Balboa went that was such a better movie than people give it credit for.
Yeah, actually no. I'm going to go ahead and say Rocky Balboa comes in 3rd, 4 comes in 4th, and 3 comes in 5th.
Well, we're kind of getting off the topic
yes.
a little bit.
Anyway,
So no, but Black Panther was amazing. It started It started the year off right. And then Infinity War. And everybody was super excited for this movie, and everybody couldn't wait for this movie. And then we saw this movie, and we all fucking cried. And we're all like, what just happened?
You want to talk about this for a second while I go get a refill? And do you want a lemon drop? Or a apple?
What the hell is a lemon drop?
Do you like lemon? Like sweet lemon?
Surprise me?
Okay. Yeah. I'll be back.
Mike,
you got this.
Do I don't have a safety net. What am I doing? So
safe word is pineapple.
That's way too hard to say with something. Never mind. So we get to Infinity War, and this was literally the movie that Marvel said that they've been building up for 10 years, going through literally all of the phases, laying the groundwork throughout the solo Avengers movies, laying the groundwork through the first Avengers, through Age of Ultron, all of the standalones, and we get to this moment. This was literally, this wasn't a movie. This was Marvel built this up as an event 10 years in the making, and holy shit, did it not disappoint. This was 2.5 hours of absolute on my seat. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if anybody's safe because so many characters weren't safe when the final credits hit. And just like, it was an event. Like, it really was. Like, it's so funny because I talked to friends, like one of our friend David that we had on. Like, I talked to him and he kind of scoffs at it, but this was really like, this was an event. Like, this is, you don't necessarily really see studios building up to big event movies like this anymore. And like, yeah, there are epics and there are blockbusters and everything like that, but this movie literally had a decade's worth of planning going into it. Like, and they even revealed Thanos was the big bad in the first Avengers, which was 2012. So they introduced the space gem, or space stone as they call it in the MCU, in Captain America the First Avenger. So that was 2011. So they had been building the groundwork, like they had been building everything, like leading up to this moment way back then, back when they didn't even know if they were gonna be a Marvel Studios 5 years down the road. And then Disney bought them and everything was okay. But to get to Infinity War and just that, like it was a moment movie. Like, it was a movie full of so many moments where you're just like there was one point where half the Guardians of the Galaxy and Tony Stark and Spider-Man and a bunch of others were fighting Thanos, and I was like, this is the closest thing to a comic book coming to life I've ever seen. Like, all of them using their powers in unison to fight him and everything like that. To the final showdown in Wakanda, where it's just everything's going out of control and Thanos shows up, and they're all kind of making their last stand. And Steve Rogers, the great scene from the trailer, which I still think is better than the Thor scene where he shows up and wrecks everybody, where Steve Rogers is the last Avenger standing, and he literally catches the gauntlet punch, and he's just holding on for dear life, like literally keeping Thanos at bay while everything else is going on. Like, this movie was a moment. And they built it up and they ripped all of our hearts out when he... Can I go into spoilers, Brad?
At this point, might as well.
Okay. So yeah, when he snaps his fingers and half of the universe gets dusted, it was one of those where I was like, I was gutted. Like, I just sat there just like, ugh. Like, you ever get that feeling where like a moment happens that's so emotional that it feels like a punch to the stomach? Like, that was it. That was Infinity War. That was the end of Infinity War. And the way that they ended it too, where with Thanos just literally just sitting on the farm, and then like the sunrise on his face, and then the movie just ended. I was just like, holy shit.
And I gotta say, the trailer for Endgame,
it very much builds up on that, like, well, they're still fucked.
Yeah. Although did you see the how it should have ended? What they did for the trailer for Endgame?
They did a how it should have ended for the trailer.
It was amazing.
So
it was just the end scene where Ant-Man's at the front gate,
yeah,
and Cap's like, "Oh, let him in," and then Buzz, Wolverine, Buzz, Professor X and the X-Men, Buzz, what was it? I think it was like Buzz, Punisher, Ghost Rider.
That's funny.
What was it? Scarlett Johansson's character.
Black Widow?
Black Widow, yeah. Black Widow's like, hey, this is getting ridiculous. Buzz, some B-1 battle droids from Star Wars.
Which come rolling in.
No, the dumb ones. From Phantom. Yeah, and then they're like, okay, I think we got this. Buzz, and it's Donatello at the front gate. And he's holding staff. Guys, my family's gone. I don't have anywhere to go. Can I come in? And Cap just gets really serious. The camera pans in on him. Oh, Thanos is gonna pay. And like they pulled in like the old animated Dawn, not like the weird Michael Bay shit. Like, it was amazing.
Well, like, and then not to but like, so we got the trailer for Endgame. Like, have you heard everything that's coming out about it right now?
No.
It's gonna be a 3-hour movie.
Oh yeah, that, yes.
Like, the Roosters are like, yeah, we pretty much got it down. It's gonna be about 3 hours.
Well, yeah, because when they were asked how long is Endgame gonna be, they said how long it was gonna be, and then they followed it up with their idea that the 2-hour movie is dead, and like, people need to start expecting good movies with proper storytelling being at least 2.5 to 3 hours minimum. I look at that going, I can see that being for specific stories, and with like these cinematic
or
universes,
anything that Nolan directs.
And like with these cinematic universes, I can see how that can become a necessity to an extent. However, the second you start saying that a good movie cannot be told in under 2 hours, you are severely discounting all of the great movies that have come before you.
Absolutely.
And you are simply choosing to be lazy about your storytelling.
Agreed.
No, yeah, I can understand.
It could just be that they meant in terms of like the scope of the story that they're telling.
Yeah, like for them specifically, with where they're at in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I can understand that because they are doing a movie that encompasses all the different movies within a single franchise that has so many pieces to pull together.
Well, like even then, like remember Winter Soldier was the longest standalone Marvel movie up to that point. It was 2 hours and like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Like that was like a big deal.
And then then everybody lost their shit, and then everybody was like, well, I wonder how long Civil War is going to be, and they're like, oh, it's like 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean, it is kind of crazy. I will admit. But yeah. So. Oh, and then of course, one really quick shout out to Netflix. Say what you will about Netflix original series. The Haunting of Hill House.
I still haven't seen it. I've heard it's amazing.
You need to. So The Haunting of Hill House was one of the best things to happen on Netflix since season 1 of Stranger Things.
You saying that it's better than season 2 of Stranger Things?
I'm saying it's better than Stranger Things combined.
Wow.
So the thing with The Haunting of Hill House is it takes the elements of classic horror, like classic haunting movies, where suspense was king over jump scares.
Yeah.
And it makes an entire 10-episode series out of it, where like every episode is nothing but suspense, 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 quick scare, suspense, suspense, and like.
Why is there green glitter in my drink?
You're imagining things.
Nah, fuck it.
But like it pulls you in with every single episode, and like yeah, there are certain elements of each episode that will not necessarily make you look at it and go, oh yeah, this is a great horror piece, but you will never say that you're bored about it. Ever. You will never, from start to finish of any episode, look at it and go, I'm bored. It's amazing. The director is incredible. The actors are great. And the best part, so the show takes place between two parts of a family's timeline. Early on and later on.
Okay.
The dad, in the early on portions, is played by the guy that played Elliot in E.T.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is actually really... So that one tripped me out a little bit because just back in October, my wife and I got a chance to finally see the new Stephen King film, Gerald's Game, on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Another pretty good one. I mean, there are definitely parts of it where you're going, oh dear Lord, that's like a bit more than I needed. Like, it goes into certain psychological issues with Gina Carano. I think Gina Carano's character that you're going, wow, that's a bit intense. But in her flashbacks to when she had to deal with some stuff when she was younger, this guy also played her creepy dad. And so I went from that going, like, being genuinely creeped out by this guy to going, I'm genuinely sympathetic for him. But it took a couple episodes to get past that because Gerald's Game was still in the back of my mind going, no, 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 dear Lord, no, no. Like, he embodied creep for Gerald's Game way too well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a look.
Actually, it's one of the better Stephen King films, I will say. Yeah, it's not like cheesy Stephen King. It's like, it's proper suspenseful, like, mess with your head Stephen King. Yeah, I wouldn't put it anywhere close to Shining, but like, it's, yeah.
Okay.
It's above middle of the pack.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
next?
And then...
Ah, yes. Yes.
Your Halloween reboot fetish.
Reboot, sequel, whatever the hell we're calling it. God, it was incredible. So me and David, or David and I, grammatically, whatever. Who gives a shit. Our friend David and I got the opportunity to go catch a midnight showing of it with his brother Brian, who was actually there in theaters for the original Halloween back in '78. Which was awesome, and then their sister. We all went and caught it, late night showing of it. Holy shit!
Yeah. I still haven't seen it, by the way.
We're gonna change that as soon as
it's on my list. But
it is The funny thing is that it's Danny McBride that executive produced and co-wrote it.
Seriously?
Yes. Along with the guy that co-wrote Eastbound and Down with him, and then did Pineapple Express. Like
for Halloween.
Yes. And they all basically sat there and were like, we came at this as like this was one of our favorite movies growing up, and the series really went away from what the original stood for and what Michael Myers was all about. And the whole thing with the reboot was that it was now that Mustafa Akkad is gone, and now that I think his son has passed it on. Like Carpenter really had a lot of say in this, whereas he was literally just a producer in name only. Like for the longest time.
Sure.
And so he was kind of fielding scripts, and when they presented his, Carpenter was like, this is the script we're going with. Like this movie is the closest thing that we will ever get to John Carpenter ever directing another Halloween movie.
Okay.
Like this, it completely wipes out everything from 2 on. It takes place exactly 40 years after the events of the original. Nothing 2, 3, 4, Curse of Mike, none of that ever happened.
Okay.
So this is its own timeline where Michael is found that night instead of escaping, and he's literally locked up in an insane asylum for 40 years. And the night of the anniversary, he escapes and he comes after Laurie.
Wow.
But they also, if you remember,